Hey guys, it's Jeremy Scott with Liberty Bugle Town Hall here. Hey, let's talk about one of the major things that's been happening lately, and that is train derailments. Now, this is some of the footage, some of the images from Ohio, from East Palestine, Ohio. And I don't, it's not just about this one, but I have a lot of issues with this particular event. And part of it is really is the governor's response, the government's response, Biden's response, the lack of response from Petey, and several other things that go along with this, guys. Now, here's a couple of them. Number one, we hear zero from the environmentalists right now. Where's the World Economic Forum? Where's our World Health Organization? Where are those people? Our benevolent overlords who want to control every part of our lives? Where are they? Where is their comment from the Sierra Club and other environmental groups that seem to have them by the short hairs? I'm really curious as to why things have been handled the way that they have and the decisions that were made. And I'm going to try to connect some of the dots, and bear with me while I'm a little bit scattered trying to put this together for you guys. But first, I'm going to share a couple of the images with you. Obviously, this is one of them here, and you may have seen this one already. A little bit of a closer look on some of the carnage that's taken place. This is awful. This is a disaster. And the part that really that concerns me is how they addressed it. They decided, instead of bringing in hazmat crews and the right people to remove the toxic chemicals, to remediate the entire situation, to close it off, and to do things the proper way. Well, I'm not an environmental engineer, but I will tell you that this was not a good idea. The burning off of chemicals and releasing vinyl chloride, and there's a whole list of them, things I can't even pronounce that are probably also in my Oreos or whatever. But if you look down at the list of everything that is there, and I'll supply it in the links below, why would you release, I'm not saying you, why would they release this stuff into the atmosphere? You know, how many times have you heard the ambulance chasers talking about Camp Lejeune water, right? Hey, if you were near or around, or if your dog's friend's neighbor's cow was near Camp Lejeune for the last 35 years, at any moment, you may be entitled to a settlement. You've heard the commercials. You've heard that. What do you think is going to arise out of this? When you've released all these chemicals into the air, that, of course, eventually settles into the water and the ground and the well water and all of the things that are happening, this is an ecological disaster, guys. And that releasing plumes of toxic chemicals into the air. I want to just take an aside here for just a second. The governor's response was, number one, they had people evacuate, I felt, a little late. And then they told them all they could just go back. Just go on back. Just drink the water. Take your showers. Do your things. We're going to give you free bottled water, which, hey, nice there, Mike. Good job, Mike. Let's give them all free bottled water. But why are you telling them to go back and that the water is safe? Yes, they are doing tests. They're testing the last, in the response that I have the link to below, they tested 75 homes. There's another 100 and so homes that they were testing for these chemicals or for contamination. But we know that these things take a while to seep into the ground and to have their effects. There's a link to one of the Yahoo News articles. I'm going to throw that in there as well. But there are thousands of dead fish floating to the top of the water. People are having respiratory issues, watering eyes, runny noses, sore throats, all kinds of things. Why would you expect less with what has happened here? So maybe, I'm going to say maybe, FEMA's response was pathetic. It was zero. And Joe Biden's response to this disaster was, well, we're not going to give FEMA funds. Now they have, and they've reversed course and decided that they're actually going to provide aid and help. But initially, the idea that we're going to send another, $500 billion overseas, but or 450 because we got to keep 10% for the big guy. But we're not helping Ohio. Now, this is a regular theme, guys. If you have been paying attention, we're really outstretching our hand as far as we can to help people not within our country and appease a global agenda as opposed to helping our own, our veterans, our own homeless situation, our own border, our own supply chains, our own economy. We're sacrificing everything that you guys do, all of your blood, sweat, and tears and tax dollars to support an agenda that has nothing to do with your safety, security, or health. I'm going to get off my soapbox on that because I'm going to lose my mind on it. But this is just one example. One example. Here is a really troubling image to me. And not just this. It's an image that was actually taken from somebody who was flying over the area. And Snopes, guys try to debunk it, I guess. Snopes, who's out there trying to debunk everything except for lies from this administration, would tell you things aren't true. This is actually real, an actual real image of a plane flying over East Palestine, Ohio. And look at the devastation. Look what's happening to the atmosphere above there, or was at that time. It's horrifying. Like I said, I'm not some environmentalist, pounding my green drum here, but we call it what it is. Well, we provide you honest information, and my take on this is that looks a lot like a disaster to me, and the lives that are impacted. Now, here's an interesting article. Now, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this on the screen, but this is a Yahoo News article that I found. I'm going to link for you below as well, but I found this statistic a little bit troubling, that the Bureau of Transportation Statistics reports 54,539 train derailments between 90 and 2021. That's 1,704 derailments a year. I didn't know this was happening. Now, when there's toxic chemicals involved, and maybe things aren't as bad as what has to, happen in Nebraska. Maybe we have slight things that happen here and there. But apparently there's a lot of work to be done on our rail systems. Now, in Nebraska, as I mentioned, they had a coal spill, and thankfully it wasn't toxic chemicals, and thankfully nobody was harmed. That really is the thing. It's American lives that I'm most concerned with. And I find a lot of it to be very, very troubling. It's not just train derailments. It's a lot of other things that I find to be very troubling. We've got chicken farms somehow spontaneously combusting, issues with power grids. We've got problems with power stations, being sabotaged. There's a ton of issues that are taking place, and it seems to be a big confluence of events, and I'm having a hard time not thinking that some of this is by design. No, don't call me a conspiracy theorist. You can call me a realist and factual, or fact check me if you want, but it's all there, guys, and I'm linking to everything down below for you. Make your own decisions, your own judgments, but I find it troubling, and I think the more that we dig and the more that we learn, the more trouble that we are. I'm just thankful that we live in a time where information is plentiful. It's a double-edged sword. You sometimes don't want to know and don't want to see what's going on, but you can't look away. Not to make a bad joke, but it's kind of like a train wreck. You just can't look away. But here we are. Please, each and every one of you, stay safe. Reach out to your loved ones. Make sure your families are taken care of. And by all means, take care of each other. And that's it. Jeremy Scott over now, Liberty Bugle Town Hall. We'll catch you next time. Thanks all. Bye-bye.